Hey Bridget, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, welcome. I'm so grateful that you could share a little bit of time with me so that we can talk a little bit about your experience as one of my coaching clients. I want to just start with maybe sharing um, who you are, where you're coming from, or like how you got to me. And so essentially, like, what problems or challenges were you facing prior to our sessions together? And what did you hope to achieve whenever you decided to give me a call?
Yeah. So I've always struggled with anxiety, depression, but mainly anxiety. It kind of comes and goes. And when I contacted you, I was like in the throes of a few months of just really intense, panic attacks, anxiety, all that stuff. I was recommended by my mother, who was one of your clients, and I'd gone back and forth, and I don't know, and I eventually was just like, I can't take this anymore. Let me call Ramona. I talked to her on the phone. We set up an appointment, and yeah, definitely helped me get through that. I mean, my anxiety has never been this good.
Yeah, yeah. So can you talk a little bit more about how that affected your life in general, having that much anxiety?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to just kind of do daily things because I was just plagued by if I do this, if I don't do this, if I go here, will I have a panic attack? Will I be overwhelmed with anxiety? It was just like a day-to-day struggle.
Hmm.
And work wasn't helping either. Work had kind of become my identity,
Mm.
which yeah, that wasn't great either. I'd kind of wrapped everything into work, and that's who I was, and that's became my hobby, and it was just becoming so overwhelming that it was making it worse.
Yeah, yeah. I remember early on, a lot of the work we did was setting boundaries around your work.
Yes. And they are very clear now. So it is that has been probably the biggest game changer is work has become separate
Oh,
from
good.
who I am as a person now. It's my job, it's not me. So I was
Wow.
really, yeah, it took some time, but I was really able to separate that, and it's definitely been life changing.
Yeah, so let's dial into that a little bit more.
Okay.
Um, why do you think it became your identity?
I don't know. I think it was newer. I'd been in a previous career for almost 11 years. This is, I think, going on my sixth year at this job. Um, but I just became so obsessed with doing a good job and proving that I was supposed to be there,
Mm,
which in a very male-dominated field in the restaurant industry.
yeah.
Um, and just kind of being, you know, I would have ideas or, things I wanted to do, and it was always kind of like, no, 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 we're good. I was just always shut down. So that
Mm.
kind of just, I think maybe trying to prove that I was so good at my job that maybe they would listen to me eventually.
So what did
Um,
you maybe experience a little bit of imposter syndrome there?
oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So
Because I
what
was
do
like,
you
I've
think?
never done this before.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of learning on the job. So I had to fake it till I made it. And yeah,
Yeah. And so then that ultimately led you to feeling
overwhelmed. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Overwhelmed. That is a good word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So imposter syndrome leads to overwhelm. Yeah. Because you're constantly doing something that is inauthentic. It's out of
Yeah.
alignment with you because you're trying to meet someone else's expectations or values. Yeah.
Right. And I don't even know if they had those
Right.
expectations. I put those on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
was working 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, and it just I did not need to be doing that.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So during our coaching together, what did you learn that helped you break through some of those perfectionist, imposter syndrome, people pleasing kind of behaviors?
I don't know, just that it I was meant to be there and I was meant to be doing what I was doing and not, I wasn't inferior to anybody else that I was working with. And I kind of just was able to settle in
Mm,
and realize that this, like I said, I was supposed to be there. That was my
yeah.
journey.
So what were some of the most valuable tools that helped you do that?
So definitely the lessons. I mean, I would go in the journaling. The journaling was awesome. That helped. My favorite lesson of all of them was definitely flip the script. That's helped in my personal and business life. And I know we've talked about that a lot. That was a good one for me because I had a constant negative loop in my head. So to be able to kind of switch that to positive
Yeah,
was,
so
it took a
mindset.
while, but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And I still
Yeah.
catch myself doing it, but I know now that I can flip it.
Well, and mindset is the game changer, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, we got to get aware and then being
Yeah.
able to shift that mindset to a truth and a value
Right.
that is aligned to you. That is the game changer. But it takes practice. It takes
Yeah.
consistency. It takes
Yep.
continuing to show up with it and believing it. Like if you say it but don't believe it, then how is it going to be, right?
Yeah. And I think that's how I started off.
Hmm.
But then seeing that it actually worked, um, yeah, it was definitely helpful.
Yeah, awesome. So tell me about any successes you've already experienced because you chose to give yourself the space to be in coaching with me.
In personal work, all of the
Whatever
above.
you want. Yeah.
Okay. So work, I think because I let go a little bit, I just obviously a better work-life balance in my relationships. A big thing is I used to always say, not understand how people felt different or why they thought that way. Or I've been definitely able, especially in my personal relationships, to step back and kind of see things from their point of view or their emotional mindset and like, okay, let me take a step back, see why they would think that way.
Mm,
So communication, but also really just being able to get out of my own way and realize that everybody else has feelings and emotions too, and they're valid.
right, right. How can you share how your anxiety has been transformed? Your experience with, let me change that question. Your experience with anxiety has been transformed because of the tools and practices that we've helped you put in place.
I think I'm just not so much in my head anymore.
Mm.
I'm still there, but I can get it down on paper. I can, working with the chakras has been awesome because I can kind of get some energy moving and flowing and out of my body. Definitely being in nature, grounding, that's all been very, very important in
Yeah,
helping with the
right.
anxiety.
Right, perfect. Um, so why was coaching a great decision for you?
It was the mind shift, like different mindset, not, everything has to be negative and hard and stressful, and I can enjoy things like life is meant to be enjoyed, and I
Mhm.
can and I should be doing that, not just working and raising teenagers and being so militant about that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um but just kind of like letting go and enjoying, and so I've definitely been working on that.
Okay, so if you were to categorize transformation, what would that, how could you share what transformation looked like for you through our time together?
Definitely not as controlling as I was. I've kind of, like I said, chilled out a little bit or working on that. Just not feeling so like, so just everything was, like I said, negative. It just, I've kind of been able to open up and be like, okay, there can be negative things, but there also can be positive things. It doesn't have to be one or the other all the time. And like I said, how, really seeing things from like my stepkids and my boyfriend's point of view when I
Mhm.
don't understand, but like taking a step back has been a big one, and kind of looking at the whole picture instead of what's right in front of me has been like definitely a game changer in our relationship.
Yeah, yeah. So there's one really big thing that I want to share, even though it wasn't directly related to coaching, but it was related to you participating in a retreat with me. So, one of the things that you came in with was issues with flying.
That's an understatement, yes.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that because I think that is one of the big shifts that I saw with you in regards to your
Mhm.
anxiety, especially that particular trip.
Yes, because being able to do that just was like, oh my gosh, I can do things. I can travel. I can get on a plane. You were so helpful with, the right crystals to get and the essential oils and stuff like that, and being able to get on the plane because we had a hiccup where we almost didn't get on the plane, and I was very calm about it. But we did it, and being in another country and being kind of in the middle of nowhere, and that was all stuff that was terrifying, like just absolutely made my anxiety so much worse. But being there, I was I was just so good. I felt at peace. And like I said, afterwards, I felt like I could do more. I actually flew 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like voluntarily, like I wanted to like instead of drive, let's fly, which is
Nice.
not something I would have ever done before. So it's definitely transformed. Like I keep t like I got on a boat on Saturday, which boats and flights were kind of,
Yeah.
not my thing, but I thought if I can fly, I can get on a boat. So now I've gotten on a boat, I can do the next thing. So it's not, things aren't so scary anymore because I
Yeah.
know I can do them.
Yeah. So your flight to Puerto Rico for that retreat was almost canceled because of a
Yes.
hurricane. So
Yep.
not only did you have to work through just the basic anxiety of getting on a plane and traveling someplace, then you had this additional layer of of tension that it was uncontrollable layer,
Right.
right? And I
Yep.
think
Because
you
everyone
all
was
actually had
fleeing.
someone else. Was it your flight that had someone else on the plane that was supposed to join but didn't? Oh no, it was another flight. So yeah, so this journey is was such a huge deal. And I
It
remember
was.
you showing up to the retreat house and you were like, oh, I did this amazing thing.
Yeah. I know you guys don't get it, but I'm here. I made it. I flew.
And I
Only
not only
Ramona and my
did I
mom would get it.
fly, but I
Yeah.
didn't lose it when this big thing happened,
Yeah. Yeah. I
right?
stayed very calm. So yes. Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah. I love that story so much because for me as a witness to your journey, it was a that was one of the biggest deals in your journey
Yeah.
with me was
Oh yeah.
you being able to not only fly to an island out in the
Yeah.
middle of the ocean,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
also have this potential for it not to happen and just be like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was a lot, but like it meant a lot because like I said, it was such afterwards, it was such like, oh my gosh, I did it. And I'd been, torturing myself so long about am I able to do this kind of stuff? So it's really putting me on the path of wanting to travel more, which is something I've always wanted to do, but been too fearful. So now I'm excited I can start doing that.
no, that's so great.
Yeah.
So, just to kind of wrap us up, if you had one piece of advice or wisdom you want to share with someone who is thinking about coaching with me, what would it be?
Probably just to do it, you know. I mean, because like I said, I went back and forth and I'm not sure. It's a commitment. Can I do it? There's no perfect timing. It's just do it because it works. And it can't hurt. It only helps and makes you a better person, makes you a better partner, wife, person at work, whatever it is. But just to do it and not overthink it like I did for a few minutes.
That's great. That's great. Oh, I love it. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to journey with you through this and for you gifting me a little bit of your time today. So I'd like to close our time together with our final closing here, which is the light in me loves, honors, and cherishes the light within you. When you are in that place in you, and I'm in that place in me, we are truly one. Namaste.
Namaste.